You know, doing this reviewer game is fun because I get to come across a lot of great products, get to play with them first sometimes. It's awesome. But sometimes I get to come across truly excellent products, best in class stuff. Stuff like HiFi Rose, especially like the RS150B or the RA180 integrated amp. We did a video on these, by the way, so make sure you check that out. However, you know, sometimes, rarely, but sometimes, I get to come across something that's gonna be legendary. I give you the MoFi SourcePoint 10, a truly amazing loudspeaker. At any price, but where it is positioned is amazing. We're gonna take a closer look, but you know I gotta tell you, don't forget to subscribe to the Gramophone channel, click that bell icon so you don't miss out. Let's go take a close look at the next legendary speaker. All right, so up close with the SourcePoint 10, the next great speaker of legend. Take a close look. We've got this lovely 10-inch woofer here, which sounds as big as it looks. We'll talk about that. But if you take a look at the dead center of it, notice that your tweeter is right there smack in the center. Concentric. It's all lined up. The tweeter is center of the woofer. Now this does a few things. We get an excellent bass output, but a very natural sound because we're using a 10-inch driver that's made out of natural paper. It's a natural organic material. Therefore, it just kind of follows that, well, it sounds natural. Now, when I say that it works, I mean that the woofer was able to hit some serious bass frequencies without a lot of exaggerated movement. In fact, I had these things bumping dead mouse and could barely, just barely perceive the movement of the woofer. You can make a long throw woofer, but then it's moving. Displacement and size, that is the key. Besides just not producing a ton of movement, the woofer had to go up to a clean 3000 Hertz at a solid half division of that. So this actually crosses over at 1.5 and rolls right into the tweeter. And just as that filter slope for the crossover goes like this, the woofer easily rolls off to nothing up until 3000, and it is a near perfect integration. You're not pushing anything to the outer limit here, therefore you're keeping everything comfortable. When everything's comfortable and playing in the boundaries that you designed it to, it easily does precisely what you want it to do. And then in the center we have a silk dome tweeter. And I really, really like what this tweeter's doing. I like what it's got to say, if you know what I mean. We've seen things like harder domes, or AMTs, for example, which a lot of people believe are better. Not me, but some do. However, the reason that we went with silk here, it fit the theme. Classic design, yet brought into this contemporary age, able to compete with the best of today's stuff while keeping the classic feeling and aesthetic and charm. As for the details of the cabinet when it comes to the construction, strong as heck, really dense feeling, 1-inch MDF minimum all the way around, finished in excellent veneers. Front baffle is even more sturdy. This is 2-inch MDF all across the front baffle. There is not one part of the whole front baffle that's not 2 inches. And this creates for an extremely rigid cabinet. You do have some bracing going on the inside, as you would imagine, but even just the basic cabinet outer portions itself, already super rigid. So we're starting from an excellent foundation, especially this crazy front baffle. It's fantastic. So join all that together with 2 ports right in the back, allowing the bass woofer to maximize its output and keep that movement minimal. And we've got ourselves an actually working, well-performing, great sounding, 2-way concentric speaker, and one that's gonna be remembered and go down in the history books. And you'll see the binding post right in the middle, sitting just beneath the actually very nice looking speaker placard on the back. And these are really quality posts. They take bananas, bare wire, spades, whatever, and they're solid. These are gonna last. You're never gonna have to worry about breaking them. My favorite things about it myself, though, are that this thing has some serious slam that you wouldn't quite expect from a speaker of this size. It's not exactly a small speaker by any means. In fact, it's got some size to it, but it's not a giant speaker either. It is happily in the middle, yet it hits like a much larger speaker. Again, 10-inch woofer, but of course it does. You just would look at it first and not think so. But sure enough, you get down to the specs and the bones of this thing, and it absolutely is capable. You can put this in your room, get it positioned, put it on for 2-3 hours, and keep going because it's not gonna wear you out. Some of these neo-retro speakers, let's just say, they can be a touch harsh. The SourcePoint 10 is anything but harsh, but it's not undetailed either. I particularly find that acoustic tracks and instrumentals, things that take advantage of the natural materials used in this product, sound extra good on this product. I also like playing some good old-fashioned rock and roll on it, and that's great because with the aesthetic it's going for, that's kind of what it makes you think of a little bit too. The great mid-century design. As functional as it is beautiful in form. I mean, just look at these kind of stealth fighter-like lines of that awesome solid front baffle and this incredibly veneered cabinetry. Let's go take a little bit of a closer look though. All right. So, looking at our other speaker in the pair here, take a look at the grille. Right off the bat, we have a more subdued look. So we're not looking straight at the driver, of course, but if you look closely, and this is the cool part, you still have those sharp, polygonal-like lines that kind of give you that stealth fighter look out of the front baffle. Just a little bit of that contemporary look that tells you this is a classic product, but it's made for the 21st century. Taking a look at the cabinet itself, though, look at these veneers. You can get two colors. You can get the black that we have here today, or you can get a walnut. The wood grains in the veneer look very similar. Really, it just comes down to the color, but I also like what they do with the grain. We've got this perpendicular look, where the top flows front to back, but the sides flow bottom to top, being perpendicular against the grain of the top panel. And finish it off with just a nice little touch of the MoFi logo on the bottom of the grille. It doesn't jump out at you too hard, but you'll notice it and go, yup, that's that MoFi. The stand is a nice solid metal stand that can be mass loaded. And then of course on the bottom of the stand we have a very big foot, almost the footprint of the speaker itself, somewhat following the same shape, with 4 spikes on each corner to give you just a bit of separation from the floor to keep all of the energy in the air rather than just dumping into your floor. And then when you put the speaker down on your stand, there's 4 soft pads on the top part of the stand that just gently grab onto the bottom of the speaker. You don't have to worry about screwing anything in or anything like that. Just try to line it up evenly, set it right down on top. Solid. But really, considering the entire aesthetic of the SourcePoint 10, it's just a great looking speaker. However, no matter which look you choose or what color, all in all, the SourcePoint 10 is going to be a great piece of furniture to add to your home. The SourcePoint 10s are truly special, and I've been enjoying every second with them. If you would like to do the same, make sure you click the link down below to go over to skybygramophone.com, where you can check out securely and get fast and free shipping straight to your home, and you can get a pair of SourcePoint 10s for just under $3,700. Also, please stop by the Gramophone showrooms because we'd love to give you a demo. Come see us in Timonium, Columbia, or Gaithersburg, Maryland, and don't forget about our beautiful Kitchen Design Center over in Hunt Valley. Guys, I hope you had as much fun as I did with this video, and if you felt like you learned something, go ahead and hit that like button because it really helps us out over here. Don't forget to chat with me more in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the SourcePoint 10, especially if you got to hear them already. I want to know exactly what you think. And of course, thank you so much for coming, hanging out with me, and spending this great time. Be seeing you.